Bill Parcells.
For two of his four, not for all four of them, for just two of them.
Well, okay. He still had a good receiver. I mean,
Yeah. I'm not taking that away from him.
He had a good receiver. So I want to go back to Reggie White's club move. What club did he go to exactly on that one?
It was a 9-iron.
I think it was a 90-pound iron.
I think it was a nightclub.
I mean, the way he destroyed people just going over the top.
Yeah, it's true.
And the craziest thing, he missed some years because he played in the USFL. So, I mean, some of it probably his most dominant years, right? He wasn't even playing in the league.
Yeah, and sadly, he finished his career, but he did a good job with the Packers.
Yeah. No, actually, he retired, and then he came back for a year in 2000 for Carolina.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah. I think most people did. So.
All right.
Is it time for
sports of yesteryear?
Yes, here we go. Here he is out in the field. He's our man, Lugs. He's out and about. We just don't know where he is with sports of yesteryear. Lugs, come in, Lugs.
All right. We're going to go with the Sports Illustrated issue, May 16th, 1955. Jimmy Jamail's Hot Box. The question. Nat Fleischer, editor of The Ring, says that Jack Johnson was the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time. Do you agree? Well, Jack Dempsey says it's unfair to name any one heavyweight as the greatest. Other greats were Gene Tunney, Jim Corbett, Bob Fitzsimmons, Jim Jeffries, and Jack Kilrain. Let's move on now. John L. Morgan from Miami says, I sang with the old John L. Sullivan Review. That's how far back I go. Jack Johnson was great, but not as great as Sullivan. Joe Louis, Jack Dempsey, or Jim Jeffries.
How about Gentleman Jim Corbett? Isn't that who that was? Gentleman Jim?
Yeah, Gentleman Jim.
John L. Sullivan had that pose with his, like, that weird.
Yeah, he was that old style fighter. He took a lot of
elbows were up a lot. Yeah, a lot of rabbit punches or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
club moves. He had club moves. That's what it was.
And finally, I'll just bring in Jimmy Bronson, New York City fight manager. Yes, Jack fought all over the world. He frequently won battle royals against 6 fighters in the ring. At 68, when he was killed, he didn't have a mark on his body from boxing. Gene Tunney retired 3 fights from his peak. Had he continued, he might have been the greatest. He had everything. So there you are. That's sports of yesteryear.
Sports of yesteryear. That was our man Lugs out and about in the field. In fact, he's even in his car tonight, we think. We're not sure, but thank you, Lugs, for being live from South Bend, Indiana. So long. All right, gentlemen, what else is going on? I have something else to bring up.
Okay, go ahead.
We're 18 minutes into the program, so we got a little time. Did you know there's a day every year called Bobby Bonilla Day? No, Bobby Bonilla, who played Major League Baseball from 1986 to 2001, on the July 1st of every year until 2035, he gets a check for $1.1 million from the New York Mets. He signed a long-term deferred contract. Amazing. Okay, fast forward to today. Christian Yelich plays for the Milwaukee Brewers. Recently signed a similar deal with the Brewers, deferring $4 million per year from 2022 to 2028. So they do this in the small market Brewers. He is opening up cash for other players. Why don't more players do this and be financially set for the rest of their lives? Look at Bobby Bonilla. He hasn't played baseball for 15 years.
But part of that's ego to say, I got the most money. Now, if you want to look at the long haul, but anyway, it's like they always say, what quarterback makes the most per season? And that kind of thing. So I think that's ego. And it's bragging rights.
T-Dog.
It is kind of intriguing because a lot of people who obviously are very knowledgeable. I'm just kind of going back to the Brady thing because obviously Brady always took haircuts on a lot of things. And look, I don't blame him for this, but a lot of people say with him going to Tampa, he referred himself to Tampa. He wanted to go to Tampa. And when he was doing the pitch, I think one of the part of the pitch is like, essentially, you'll pay me roughly $30 million per year for the next 2 years.
And he got 25 50 for 2 years, right? Roughly.
Yeah. I think it will. I don't think it was a shot because obviously I don't think he's the highest paid quarterback.
No.
Obviously he's 43, but still, I think it was a direct shot at New England on some level, going back to the ego thing. I think it was I'm better than what you said I am. Because some of these teams wanted to court me, and you kind of disrespected me. And a lot of it has to do with being disrespected, I think.
Well, with these ridiculous salaries and caps and things changing and escalating, don't you think we'll see more of these deferred contracts from a management side, and for the player to say, all right, when I'm 40 years old, I'll still be making $5 million a year? I like it.
Short term and the next few years, because of how the market's been affected, I would say no.
What market are you talking about?
I would say the cap's going to go down for each year because obviously all the amount of money they lost in terms of sponsorships and whatnot, like the cap for NBA, for NFL, it will actually probably go down next year. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but it feels like it would go down. At least I feel fairly certain the NBA will. I'm not saying the NFL.
This was Wall Street today, I think. Air raid sounds. Yeah, you're right.
To be fair to you, MLB, obviously there are people that are interested, but for as little as it's kind of, you hate to say it, it's not a niche. It's bigger than a niche, but it's become obviously a smaller part. It feels weirdly unaffected by almost anything. So, yeah, they're still probably going to be paying people ridiculous amounts. Because you see in baseball in particular, they'll sign like $200 million deals, which they don't come close to in any other sport.
True, and longer career. Okay, so we never see this happening in the NFL, gents? Never?
I don't think so. No.
What do you say, Lugs?
Probably not. The way the economics are set up, I don't think they'll go there. But, hey. You never know. I mean, we're living in very unpredictable times, I'd say. So, by the way, nice skull cap. That Harley Davidson skull cap there, T-Dog, man. It's looking good.
For those of you on the radio, on the podcast, you didn't see that. Anything else from anybody else here on the panel?
Not unless you got somebody hidden back there on that set.
No.
Did somebody step up and say something?
Well, here's our microphone in the field. Man on the street, sir. What do you have to say?
No, we got nothing else.
Well, I only say this.
23 minutes past the hour. 23
Andy
minutes.
Bashir, could he play Andy in the next Toy Story? He's like riding high at this point.
Well, his name's already on the bottom of Woody's shoe, so why not?
No.
Somebody poisoned the water hole.
Right, it's right there.
It's been an interesting concept for me coming from the Batcave, so.
Yeah.
Well,
Who are you abducting in the grocery store parking lot there?
This has been
chloroform in one of your hands.
This has been Sports and Other Stuff with no live sports. It's sponsored in part by Swendella Bread. At 3 a.m. when you're in bed, Swendella bakers are baking bread. When it's Swendella, it's a swella fella. Stop in and ask for
Fish. The man, the myth, the legend. He can show you a loaf like nobody else.
Yeah, stop by Loafs Are Us. That's right. We are the Sport Weasels. First in sound, first in service, first in sports. Until next time, so long, be safe, and stay well.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. Physicians and public health professionals are trying to protect us because our healthcare system would be overwhelmed if too many people get seriously ill. We have to take their advice seriously. So, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home. And disinfect, a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.